Come on, open up.
Not a chance I'll fit in there.
Bloody hells. No matter. Now, as for the... He knows our secret. He claims he can help. What do you make of him? I suppose it was a lot to take, but he also stared as if we were... We can't hedge our bets here. Best we decide how to deal with him, if at all. You know, except you decide blindly. My point is that Raphael was... He's clever. My order uses the same tactic. You don't need a scourge or a when actual pain comes. There were no right answers with that devil. He was toying with his food. Us. Perhaps you did see. Sowing doubt is an old trick. Watch out for it. And for Raphael. Quite the understatement, but yes, I have it. And I'll guard it with my life. You already know my biggest secrets. What more can you ask? She took me in when no one else would. She's my mother. Don't believe the lies the Selûnites tell.
Speak. I expect I am your first. Of course you haven't. They would have cut. You are no less alien to me. That large, fleshy nose of yours looks like a mistake. It was an observation. No matter. I do not intend to stay long in this place. Yes, in great. Then you start to hallucinate. Your bones will change. All skin will turn to. Then you have ceased to exist, and a mind flayer is born. Words forged in steel. We must find my. The first symptoms should have long since started, though. That is. Yes, if you give it no bad. Besides, what hasn't happened may yet come to pass.
Very far down. We'll have to go in to see the bottom.
Do we have to spend so long poking about down here? I'd much rather be outside, with the sun on my skin.
If you're going to complain the whole way, by all means, return topside. You could use the color.
Than a pit of spikes. Credit due. Careful, Lae'zel. It's dark around here. Would be a terrible shame to lose you forever.
Yes. Do keep your wits, Shadow. Should the dagger suddenly slice your neck, we may never know who's to blame.
What path lies before me? Open up. Right tool will do the trick. That might be worth a look.
Goblins are such vile little parasites.
Not the vilest any of us have seen of late, unfortunately.
Goblins are such vile little parasites.
Not the vilest any of us have seen of late, unfortunately.
Don't give me trouble now.
Well, hello.
What to do?
What's the story? Depends on the type. Ice devils hate an inferno, but that's... Demons, on the other hand, sharp instincts. Anyway, what were we talking about? Trust me, I'll tell you all about it after we take care of the goons on my tail. Funny you should ask. I mean, I know where I'd be. Trapped in Avernus still, with the Blade of Frontiers on my tail. But what about you? I can picture you getting mixed up. Maybe once we've wrapped up the current shenanigans.
Speak.
good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much. I was just settling in and reviewing my latest findings. Mind flayers, cultists, and, of course, your esteemed company. Why, I'm practically an expert. They've tentacles, you know. Quite shocking. The druid Halson had some kind of mind flare specimen in a jar in his quarters. A replica, no doubt, but truly fascinating to see up close. Here, on the Sword Coast. Impossible. That's quite impossible. You'd have undergone ceramorphosis by now. I can't attest to the specific, as there's not a tentacle on your head. I can only assume you haven't been infected. If what you say were true, isn't it? Perhaps that's for the best. If I just peer in your eye, I could quickly... Oh, dear sweet God! I mean,
There is work to do.
Let's move.
You know, I've been thinking... Nothing big or terrible. Just a... It's just that I... A vampire. And by rights, I should be Cinders. The same something that's... But that's neither here nor there. What matters is... Everything's out in the open now. Now, was there anything else? Why do you insist? I was a slave. Perhaps I still am. But now... I've been conveniently lost. It's simple. Just find a vampire that will drink your blood and turn you into a vamp. In theory, the next step is to drink their blood. Once you've done that, you're free. People think the biggest threat to a vampire is a cleric. The biggest threat to a vampire? So why would any vampire give... Trust me. It doesn't happen.
Shah's blessings upon you. The wound on my hand. It never quite heals. And sometimes it causes terrible pain to rip through me. It's my burden, though, from... I cannot say. Not with what I can recall. But even then, it would not be for me to question... I don't think so. But you're sweet to ask. Pain is sacred to followers of Lady Shah. Pain will give way to loss and then to the peace of her eternal darkness. It's difficult to say. I'd like to hope there's more to it than that. Some meaning that Lady Shah... I'm sure you do. But please try to understand that it's not something I can just talk about freely. Very well. Perhaps there's potential in you. I am indeed a I assume you've heard of her? Curious. I think I did well by joining you. Most agreeable company. Fine. What's on your mind? I suppose some would commend our actions. Goblin. No excuse to rest on our laurels, though. We've still got our own problems to contend with. I suppose we'd go our... Perhaps. Perhaps not. There's someone waiting for me there. Someone I have to reach. As soon as possible. Thank you. And you're right. I don't think I've ever had a confidant quite like you. And if I had...
The Blade of Frontiers at your calling. He brings to mind a story. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a farmer made a deal with the devil. So the story goes. The farmer's dearest fruit. We can learn a lot from fairy tales. Don't you think? Refuse him, no matter how tempting the offer. No matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost, that's because you still have hope. But he'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more. You might think you'd give up anything, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything. Karlach's fires raged in Baldur's Gate before she escaped to Avernus. As one of the archdevils Zariel's own, chaos incarnate. She fled from my reach, even climbed aboard the mind. I can't bear to imagine the lives Karlach might be taking, the damage she might be doing. A powerful friend with a keen interest in... All right, what else is on your mind? My father once said, so it was for me. I was hunting. I found him in the field. I don't remember much of the battle. But I remember drying the boy's tears up, proud. Angry at the monsters preying on innocents. Angry at myself that it took so... The frontiers demanded a blade. And so I heeded. It was an even... It's made from pure bloodstone. Carved from the Galena Mountains just north of the Moonsea. But that story is reserved by all means.
Go ahead. I'm listening. You see, I have this condition. The specifics are rather personal, but suffice it to say that it is a malady I've learned to live with. What it comes down to is this. Every so often, I need to get my hands on a powerful magical item and absorb the weave inside. I can say no... Just trust. It's been days since I last consumed an artifact. Since before... And by that, I mean it's imperative that I find and consume strands of weave at the... We've already done the finding. You know for yourself how hard won such an item... There'll be danger involved. Or great cost. As luck would have it, you're already primed to give me exactly what I need.
Thank you.
I can feel it work. A metaphorical demon, I haste to point out, but no less dangerous. And no less bound to wake up again to continue its ravages. Oh, it's not so bad once you get used to it. Sincerely, though. I understand I ask a lot from you with few answers in return. But in time.
My lady,
Not this one, nor this one. Writing the... Beyond mortal realms, there doth exist an amalgamation of spirits, akin. They... For a mere pittance of coin, I might summon the worthiest among them to lend aid. Most willingly, forsooth. Their passions... Suspicion always haunts. Very well. Impossible. Thy party is full.
One horn! The stink!
Well, I'll be God's damned.
Karlach! The Archdevil Zariel's gladiator. Come to burn the Sword Coast to ash.
Well, not counting the fuckers that need a good...
Shut it, devil! I know your kind.
A devil?
A great fire roars through you. You are Karlach, tearing through demons across the front lines of the Blood War.
Proof! Clear as summer sky.
I've tried to tell you. I'm not...
Another vision. Karlach's blade rays slicing through devils. Will shudders with Karlach's desperation. She is a victim of...
By Balduran's helm,
You saw the truth. I may be an...
And yet you served. No! Devils cannot be trusted!
You know monsters better than anyone. Can't you look in my eyes and see I'm not a devil?
You don't know what this means. You don't know...
I'm asking you to live, Will.
I don't want to hurt you. I swear to you, on...
Shit! You really are no devil.
Oh, thank the gods.
You would have died in the attempt.
Truce then.
I see the good in you, Karlach.
My good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here.
Glad Will saw sense. Even more glad he decided to stick around. Takes a pretty slick mover to track down old Karlach. Same. Now, instead of...
You've been witness to a pantomime, I'm sorry to say. And I've played my part all too... I can say only this. Karlach's not one night soon when we make camp. The veil will be lifted, and I'll pay my penance. You're not in any danger.